My best friend's ex. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some of the recent r/nice girl stories posted on Reddit. My best friend's ex. There are only three main people who are involved in this whole situation: my friend, who will be called S, his ex, which is the nice girl here, she will be called A, and his recent ex, W. S and A started dating sophomore year and their relationships was like any high school relation. They ended dating for 2 years until A started acting out and just really becoming jealous, insecure, and possessive to S. By that time S really started to lose feelings for A and eventually just ended somewhere around March of this year. A flipped out when S decided to end their relationship, she states crying and scream and begging for another chance, but according to S, he has already given her many other chances. Side note, A has cheated on S during their relationship and S gave her another chance, and also A did a bunch of other stuff that really put him on the edge of breaking up with her until now, in which he finally ended it. So eventually S just stopped responding to all her messages for a while and she then stopped messaging for a while too, which lead S to believe that was the end of that. A month after his breakup, S met W and they went out for a bit. She, unfortunately for S, actually lived out of state and was only here to visit where we live for a bit. So they ended their little relationship but kept contact in hopes of maybe something happening later on. 2 months later, around mid-June, A started messaging S again. She messages him acting like the breakup never happens and kept acting like they were still together. A also went on pictures he posted on his Instagram, and commented things like "respond to your GF" or "I miss you baby" or just heart emojis. S was annoyed and decided not to respond to anything and just stopped posting for a while. He then told A to just leave him alone and move on. This, initially made A mad and she was just going off on him. The day after S told A to move on, she did something unthinkable and just straight up wrong, douchey. Context: when they dated, S let A use his Snapchat a couple of times just to mess around with, and did the wrong move of telling her his password. I think you may be able to see where this is going. She logged into his Snapchat on her phone, and went through almost all of his messages. Now this pissed me off because there was some sensitive stuff I told him, and for all I know, she may have read it, but that is not important. You see, I found his messages with W and read about their little relationship and she flipped, like she went on S more and more and was cussing him out, and threatening him. To make matters worse, she took W's Snapchat, added her on her account, and told W and S cheated on her with A when S and W were together. This made W angry and basically told S to go to hell, and as of now she is not talking to him. Also, from what I have been told, A and W are talking together and just talking about S. As of now, nothing has happened yet, but S fears that things may get worse over time. He tried blocking A but she just got new accounts. Some advice is welcome so I can pass it on to S to maybe help me. I will update if anything significant occurs. My friend is a nice girl, what do I do? This isn't really to bash her, more so to share what's happening and hopefully get some advice. I have a friend on Discord I've known about 3 years. She often struggles with depression and goes on rants or sometimes snaps at people and pushes them away without warning. Aside from those, she's always been very kind and I've had no trouble standing up for her when she needed it, but recently, for the past year or so, she's been in a rut. There's a guy she really likes and has asked him out 4 times now, but he's not interested and always declines and asks to stay friends. The guy is also in the server, and is interested in a different girl that's also everyone's friend, and also happens to be a mod. They're both very nice as well, and oftentimes, the guy and the mod will spend time together, play games, and were even Valentines. But the nice girl doesn't like this, of course. She blames the mod for taking away her chances with the guy she likes. For a long time, she was harsh and cold towards her, even to the point of publicly bullying. She never told anyone why she was acting so mean until I pulled her aside and had her tell me. Aside from what I already mentioned, she said she doesn't want to hate the mod, she doesn't want to be upset, and she doesn't even want to like the guy at all, but she apparently can't help it. I convinced her to tell this to the mod because it was unfair for her to be bullied for something she didn't know anything about. Well, the nice girl did, and it seemed to work out for a short time but went back to bullying within a week. Some of the words were very cruel, such as calling her a pig, acting cold when she was excited about something, and the who cares when she came on to say anything at all. The mod didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but her feelings were getting hurt and finally confronted the other mods for advice. The owner suggested to kick, but the nice girl had strong ties to the rest of the server and we didn't want anything to break out if we acted with haste, so we tried to do an intervention. The nice girl promised she would stop, and she was sorry, and we didn't hear anything about it for a long time. Until we did. The nice girl suddenly left the server and joined another server I was in. It didn't take her long to use the vent channel, saying how angry she was that he said no to her but went with the mod. How angry she was that she was rejected, that the guy knew her longer than the mod, that she's given up on love and locked her heart away, all the while convincing the new server that the guy was scum for not being interested in the nice girl. I didn't intervene, since I didn't want to start an argument, but my concerns are growing and I'm not sure what I should do. The guy only knows that the nice girl is upset at the mod because they spend a lot of time together, but she refuses to tell him anything more. My ex-best friend became a nice girl. Characters: me, ex-bestie, C, her now ex-BF, acne beard, Ab. So, me and C were best friends for nearly 4 years, but suddenly this boy comes along and I have no idea how she liked him so much. He was so an incel but not a neckbeard. He had a beard full of acne, I'm being serious, it went all the way down his neck. Always wore the same bad odor smelling hoodie under his blazer, we wore uniforms and hoodies weren't allowed but he didn't care, had long sight glasses on that made his eyes 10x bigger than they should be, he loved animes that had schoolgirls with giant breasts, hentai and lolis. He's also obsessed with Skyrim and redheads. I am the only redhead in the school and he didn't believe redheads didn't have bright red hair like his anime waifu from High DxD. Gross. She ended up crushing on him and confessed during summer holidays before we became second years. They then became a gross couple cause, even though we were 12 to 13 years old, they both started getting into sexual roleplay and mistress and sub. Ab got C into this even though she shouldn't even be thinking of this stuff. He also was into getting his pee-pee stomped on, being a urinal and had a fart fetish. Absolute incel. This is when C started getting into Future Diary. It's about this yandere with pink hair who goes all love sick that she kills anyone for this oblivious guy she loves so much to death, because Ab suggested it to her because he loves Yan as well, WTF dude, and this is where it went downhill. She barely watched any episodes before she tried to act all creepy and yandere-ish. She literally tried to act like this yandere by doing her iconic expression with her bright red eyes, hands on her cheeks and smiling creepily. Yeah, it was cringe AF when she did it to me. This is why we weren't popular this year in school. She started constantly texting Ab during class, and when I told her to do some work she would put on this weird voice trying to sound creepy and say I'll text my Ab whenever I want because he's mine. Out loud. In class. I don't know why I was still friends with her during this entire year because she also became a jerk to me. This got so bad that she started posting on her Instag these random yandere quotes with yandere anime characters behind the quotes covered in blood and looking insane. Then she invited me over to her house. Biggest regret in my life because I saw the most cringeworthy thing in life that I'm immune to all cringe now. We went into her kitchen to cook dinner and then she grabbed a giant kitchen knife, had her psycho episode by trying to laugh creepily even though she had the most monotone laugh I've ever heard, and stabbed the knife into the chopping board, but it was such a weak hit it didn't even make a dent into it, lol. She then screamed in repetition I love him like, girl calm down you're cringe. She then pinned me to the fridge, put the knife really close to my face, and said with a sinister smile and eyes wide open like the crazy GF meme, you ever touch him, I'll stab you to death. Like what the fuck bro, we're 12. I wasn't scared cause I knew she wouldn't hurt me, right? I was so wrong because after that, a few months later, she tried to strangle me in my own house twice but she wasn't putting enough strength into it to stop me from breathing. She then wrote into her social subjects jotter of how she would kill me and hide my body and even showed it to her therapist. Girl, really? I'm legit not even shaking in my boots right now. Oh, did I not mention she was staying at my house around this time? Yeah. She was staying over from August to October until we kicked her out because she talked stuff about my parents on Skype and drained my data on my phone to text her BF on my account, which made the bill skyrocket. What made me officially kick her out was because I refused to give my tech to her cause she made my bill go too high, so she went into a big huff and called me a slut and that stuff. Last year she tried to get back into touch with me by saying happy birthday to me, 2 days late, on Instag. Yeah, I told her to fuck off. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.